Welcome back to Your Voice America. I have me today one of my favorite guys, Peter St Onge. I'm sure that you've seen him. He is all over everywhere. His shows are fantastic. He always has excellent economic and political analysis. And today he's joining us to talk about what else? DOGE, right? That's the big deal that's going on. Peter, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Bill.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, Trump ran on DOGE. This is the thing that amazes me. Democrats are like, I didn't vote for Elon Musk. It's like, well, Trump ran on this for like 6 months that he was going to do this.
Yeah.
He's doing exactly what people wanted him to do, and yet the Democrats are like, where did this come from, right?
Yeah, that's what they're pretending. Before the election, Elon was pretty high profile. He was on stage with Trump all the time.
Right.
They were going on and on about all the stuff they were doing. This is like Elon's relationship with Trump is almost too transparent. Every minute detail. They were sitting on the plane together, eating fast food. They were hanging out all the time. He had the Occupy Mars t-shirt, the whole routine. So this has been absolutely transparent. Now, if you want to contrast this to what presidents usually do, which is that they have these sort of shadowy advisors,
Right.
maybe on national security, maybe Dr. Fauci, maybe Mr. Gates. Right. So presidents have long relied on various advisors. And in this case, this has been by far the most transparent relationship that a president has had with a major advisor.
Yeah, it really is remarkable. And they're setting up a website now, aren't they, where they're going to just report everything and it is remarkable. And here's the thing, it's sort of a kill the messenger thing from the Democrats, because he's coming out and he's reporting all of this waste and fraud and hundreds of millions spent here, hundreds of millions spent there. I call for, $1 billion for left-handed smoke shifters in, outer Mongolia, and yet the Democrats aren't upset about that. They're upset the fact that he's allowed to look, right?
Well, that's what's really astounding here. So if you look at polling on DOGE, something like 73% of Americans, that was a December CBS poll, 73% of Americans want government spending substantially cut.
Right.
Three-quarters of Americans don't agree on anything. That is absolutely overwhelming. What Democrats could do in an alternative reality is they could sit down and say, wow, I'm just as shocked as you guys are that we're, one of the things that was stuffing marbles into cats' rectum. This is weird stuff.
They really did
Democrats
that.
could have sat down. Yes, sir. This was on Jesse Waters just the other day. They're also doing transgender experiments on rodents. This is just weird. This is like science fiction stuff. Nobody in America voted for their tax dollars to be used on this. So Democrats could have sat down and said, you know what? I'm shocked. It's out of control. And, you go back, Obama and Bill Clinton both, they had government efficiency campaigns they ran on. I think Clinton laid off several 100,000 government workers, right? This should not be a partisan issue. And it shouldn't be a partisan issue, partly because 73% of Americans want this stuff cut out. So Democrats are being absolutely suicidal here. Instead of joining in and saying, you know what, we're right, let's join this DOGE commission, let's figure out where the money's being wasted. Instead of doing that, they are dying on this hill. And of course, the reason I think is the same reason why the Democrat Party has lost its way. So the Democrat Party, ever since FDR, has been the party of the little guy, right? The Rust Belt, urban Americans, right? People who need a hand up. That's been their shtick. And if you look at what the Democrat Party has done over the past decade, they've just full on become the party of the elites, right? So your money is going to illegals to manufacture new voters. It's going to Ukraine because who is getting a share. It's not going to North Carolina. It's not going to the inner cities. Right? That was a big reason why Trump got so many votes from Black Americans and from Hispanic Americans, is because the money is being siphoned out of the traditional Democrat constituencies towards, whether it's green energy or Ukraine, towards these sort of pie in the sky projects of the elite. So the Democrats are really sort of crippled at the moment, where they can see the polling that says, 70, 80% of Americans support DOGE. There was a focus group the other day, Axios reported this out in Arizona. They had 11 swing voters, and Axios is using them as like a weather vane for what public opinion is. So these people are all swing voters. 11 out of 11 support Elon. And keep in mind, the mainstream media has been full on attacking
Right.
Elon, right? They say he's going to steal your social security number. I guess Elon's going to like rent a car using my number.
Right.
They keep saying Elon talks about fraud without evidence, right? That without evidence phrase they were using during COVID.
They always say that,
So
right?
absolutely. So media's been doing everything they can to gaslight people against Elon, against Doge, and you've got 100% of swing voters who support this. You never see 100% in politics. So it's failing spectacularly.
Right.
If I loved the Democrat Party, I would tell them, get your head out of the sand and join on with this. Talk about how you're upset about it too. You're shocked that this is happening. Of course, they all bought it and they're all on the take. But the point is, if you want to maintain power, you've got to at least pretend to be fighting the corruption instead of fighting Doge.
Exactly. This is one of Trump's great things that he does as a great negotiator. He goes into a situation and he says some outrageous things, does some outrageous things, and he takes the middle. Okay, he takes the middle and he pushes everybody out of their comfort zone. And then everybody will always want to return to entropy, right? They'll want to return to their comfort zone. But to do that, they have to come back to where Trump is because now he's in the middle. And that's what he's done now. He's become a champion of the middle class. And he's like, listen, I'm going to be your voice to fight against these Democrat elites. And then when people that can't pay the rent, can't put food on the table, can't send their kids to the kind of schools they want to send them to, and all of a sudden they hear about millions and millions of dollars being sent overseas to these things, promoting election integrity in India. India does fine with their elections. They don't need our help on that. It really gets under their skin, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, the last person or the last president we really had who had that skill, sort of understanding where the people are, was probably Bill Clinton. Right. Bill Clinton, when you look back at his presidency, it was kind of all over the place. And people complained about it at the time. This is the 90s. They said the problem with Bill Clinton is that he sticks his finger in the air and he sees where the air is. Well, yes, Bill Clinton was very, very good. He had a pair of antennae where he knew where the people were on issues, and he was relatively not ideological. Right. So he had welfare reform. One of the big issues he pushed was a strong border. Right. So the Democrats have lost touch with that. And ironically, this was something that came out during the campaign. In a sense, the same Democrats won in 2024. Right. Trump spent most of his life as a Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard, RFK. Elon Musk was a Democrat until very recently.
Right.
So essentially what's happened is that the same parts of the Democrat Party have hived off, made common cause with the relatively sane parts of the Republican Party. And then these sort of establishments in both parties are fighting him, right? You've got the warmonger rhinos on one side. You've got the elite tools on the other side. And ideally, we want the Democrat Party to survive, right? We want it to find its wits again, to learn how to listen to voters instead of special interests so that we can actually have competitive elections where both parties are suggesting something reasonable. As much fun as it is to dance on the rubble of the Democrat Party, I do want two competitive parties. But right now, the Democrats, maybe they didn't lose hard enough. And so they're still in denial that they're out of touch with voters, and that, if you look at, of all the things that Trump did, the one that really got them upset, right, the one that had them out there, chanting and dropping the F-bomb, that was going after U.S. aid.
Right.
Right now, donations to foreign countries, that is like the least popular of federal spending.
Right.
And that's the hill that they chose to defend, not, mass deportation, not tariffs, not these other things that they claimed they cared about. That's the hill that they chose. And the reason is specifically because they've become a tool of the elite. They are completely out of touch with the people. Now, it's understandable because the left-wing media for decades has run interference for them, right? So Democrats can wander off into the special interest swamps and they don't have to worry about it because media will process that for voters and get them on board. That magic is shifting, right? When you're living in a world where the entirety of mainstream media is attacking DOGE and it's got 73% support, That is not the old world, right? Now you're in a new reality here where the mainstream media can't cover for the Dems. The Dems actually have to get back in touch with voters. It looks like they're incapable until they get another couple of shellackings at the polls.
Yeah, it's remarkable. You know, the golden rule, they say the person with the gold makes the rules. And the person with the gold for the Democrats has been these foreign donations coming in. These are globalists, these are Marxists that have been funding the Democrat Party. And this is what has dragged the Democrat Party so far left, because to keep getting that money coming in, that I believe, money being laundered from Ukraine, money coming from other foreign sources, money coming from USAID, and all these, that they have to go further and further left. And that, you know, guys like RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard and Elon Musk didn't leave the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party left them. They left them behind. They've gone so extreme and so far to the left that it really has given a great opportunity for Trump. One of the things I always used to say in the past was that America's 20